Good morning, members. I'm Anthony Rodwell-Ball, Chief Executive Officer of NGS Super. This is the second of a number of updates that we plan to give you on board outcomes and an overview of the investment markets. The overview that I provide doesn't take your personal circumstances into account, so any general observations that I might make about markets and economic trends should not be relied upon in determining your own financial situation. NGS encourages you to seek appropriate personal financial advice. Please ring 1300 133 177 for more information. So where are we in the cycle? Since we last spoke, share markets have gone down 10% since the 1st of July. And that's domestic, global and emerging markets. Volatility continues, although some indications over the last week or so give us reason to believe that things are on the improve, and I'll get into that in a minute. There are three main reasons, however, for share market decline and volatility over the last 3 or 4 months. Firstly, a fear of a major financial crisis in Europe, similar to that which we experienced during the GFC, that started, as we all know, in the US. The encouraging sign, however, is that European Union members, and there's 17 of them, so getting them all together in a room to agree on anything is no mean feat. But the 17 members of the European Union have now approved a 600 billion euro European Financial Stability Facility. And the intention of this is to buy the debt of distressed euro nations, to aid banks, and to offer credit lines to governments in the region. This reassured the markets, and in the last week, as we know, there has been a bounce back. Volatility is still there, however. The second issue that's driving economic results and market pressures at the moment is the fear of a double-dip recession. There's poor consumer confidence, higher than average savings, as people are retreating to cash and spending less. There are falling house prices still in the US, or at least at the very best, a very depressed housing market, and that's true of Europe as well. There's excessive production capacity around the world. However, our advisors have the view that the probability of a double-dip recession is low, particularly in the developed economies, the large developed economies of the United States and Germany, where in the last week or so, company reporting of profits has led the commentators to believe that the economic fundamentals and the strength of underlying companies is very, very good, certainly better than it was in 2008. The third influence that's causing uncertainty is the herd behaviour that investors demonstrate. So in the light of all of the uncertainty and volatility, what is the NGS board view of the current situation? Well, after extensive discussion last week, firstly in the investment committee and then in the board has formed a view that share markets currently represent good value, that corporate balance sheets, as I said before, are better than in 2008, both globally and locally. There's a lot of cash on balance sheets, and profit reporting has been, by and large, strong. The only missing ingredient in the whole jigsaw puzzle, really, is that of confidence. Emerging markets are continuing to grow, China, India, Indonesia in particular, but any resource-based economy as well is going through significant growth spurts, and that's true generally, Africa, South America, Central Europe, Russia. So the NGS strategy very much is committed to building wealth over the long term. And that means that our medium-term strategy is to hold shares aligned with global growth as a major theme. And in particular, that means holding Australian equities, shares, emerging market shares and investments, and taking strategic stakes in global resources companies. The board also approved the recommendations of the Marketing Committee, which earlier had considered that 106 applicants for our NGS scholarships for 2011. A very strong field, some excellent applicants, and we look forward to announcing the winners in due course. The difficulty with that process, of course, is refining it to the point where we form a view as to who is most worthy, and that is a very, very difficult process, let me assure you. I'd like to announce and confirm that this last week we've launched a social media campaign, and the intent of this is to reach out to you on a more regular basis to give you informal and at times formal updates on what the fund is doing, but to cost effectively also advertise seminars and education programs and the like, so that you as our members can be better informed as to what's happening in the markets and how we can build your retirement wealth together collaboratively. The board was also pleased to hear that Super Ratings, the benchmarking agency for the superannuation industry in Australia, has awarded NGS Super finalist in the Fund of the Year awards. The board moved on to discuss strategy, and in particular started to consider positioning the fund for a strategic review for the period 2012 to 2017. This is particularly necessary given the amount of reform that's in the pipeline, given the Stronger Super report that's before the Minister and the draft paper that he's put out on Stronger Super legislation. That concludes what I have to report to you today. The board will meet again at the end of November, and sometime early December or mid-December I will compile a similar report to this and it'll be posted online. Thanks for your attention.